You are my God, and I will ever praise you. Oh Lord, you are my God, and I will ever praise you. I will seek you in the morning. I will learn to walk in your ways. Step by step, you lead me. I will follow you all of my days.
So that's what I want to sing. Oh Lord, you are my God, and I will ever praise you. One more time. Oh Lord, you are my God, and I will ever praise you. I will seek you in the morning. I will learn to walk in your ways, and step by step you lead me.
I will follow you all of my days.
Okay, maybe we'll sing the song another time, but that song we'll sing today. While I sat on my seat and Mr. Precious was giving her testimony, the Lord told me that she will testify yet next week, because she would not need to go to hospital again. As I'm speaking, the baby will be hid permanently in Jesus' name. Well, it's not for you to believe me. It's not even for Mr. Precious to believe me. It was God that spoke. So we will hear a testimony next week that of a truth the baby received permanently the healing during church service. Now you can greet your neighbor and tell your neighbor you are welcome to church. Tell your neighbor your name. You look familiar. Some of you look like Taiwo. Some of you look like Obutule. That's your name. So in case they are wondering if you're Obutule as name, tell them my name is Jeremiah. So I think we can turn on the lights during service time, teaching time. We can. 2026 started with an urgency. 2026. It started with an urgency, and many people started 2026 like they started 2025. Many thought that 2026 was a replication of 2025. They said Happy New Year, but they didn't believe in a new year. It is possible that you make confession of a reality that your heart doesn't recognize. And so many people said Happy New Year, welcome to 2026, but their reality was still in 2025. I was baiting when the Lord began saying this. My wife asked me, you have been faithful for too long. I said, I'm writing. Because while I was studying, he didn't speak. I was studying, he was with me, but he began bringing perspective as I was about to bait, and the perspective is what I'm going to share as my introduction. So I said that 2026 started with an urgency. Actually, many people took 2026 lightly and casually. I know you will not believe me simply because the landscape is filled with so many activities. Many activities. Many churches started 2026 with activities. You will find out that we had a lot of programs during 2026 January, and up till now, there are many churches that are still doing these activities. I'm not in any way downplaying these activities. I'm only saying that 2026 was not that year for activities. It was a year to reevaluate yourself. You will not believe me yet. It was in 2026, this 2026, I found out that it's possible to pray. Or 2025, I found out that it was possible to pray, it was possible to worship, and yet still be bound. Meaning that you were engaged in a spiritual activity that would have liberated your life, but because it was more like an activity to you, it was a normal routine. So everybody had a mindset that when you come into a new year, you're supposed to start a 50 days fasting, you're supposed to start a 30 days fasting, start a 20 days fasting, or a 30 days prayer. And then we believe that after the 50 days fasting, our life will be good until the end of the year. So God began telling me. He said it's activity, still activity. It's possible that you think prayer is an activity. Meanwhile, prayer is supposed to be a way of life, not an activity. It's a system that was designed to ensure that the man was perpetually hinged to the heart of God. I'm saying that 2026 is like it's opened up in a different kind of way to only accommodate men that have decided to build by God's pattern and by God's design. Meanwhile, the first quarter of the year will begin to look like 2025. So many people will not discern that it's 2026 yet, because the realities that play host in 2025 will begin to play host in 2026. But however, as the first quarter begins to move, there's going to be a shift, and that shift will now show that we're in 2026. You see, I'm not always wrong with things like this. I'm not talking about my powers. I don't have economic powers. I don't know all those things. I didn't study economics. I'm a science student. What I know is how to mix chemicals, and then the best of me is to teach biology. Are you with me? So what I'm telling you now is the perspective of God. In fact, I was not thinking about it when the Lord began to talk to me about it. He just wanted to talk to his boy. And all I did was to take my notes and I began to write. I'm saying that we are behind time. We're in a new month, is the third month, March. And even though currently now, many of us call it the first Sunday of the month of March, we have forgotten that time is going. We're in the third month, we only have 9 more months to go. I'm saying that it's possible to continue like this and still shout Happy New Year in 2026 and your life will not change. The previous years showed a dilemma, a form of mixture that, so if you are a student of math, further math, you find out that when you began to study, there's something called x plus x equals what? 2x. So it means two things came together and gave a result. It was more like so if you mix hydrogen plus it's H2, right? Hydrogen plus oxygen, it will give you what? Water. So if you're a bystander looking from behind and watching them mix hydrogen and oxygen, you must have been wondering, what are you trying to do? Meanwhile, the byproduct is supposed to be water. Are you with me? Are you aware that the byproduct that it, see, because you mix hydrogen and oxygen does not entirely mean that you will get water. There's a unit of, let me use unit so that you understand. It's not supposed to be unit. There's a unit of hydrogen that is needed to be mixed with a unit of oxygen to give us H2O water. And in case you are watching me from afar, mixing hydrogen and oxygen together, and I produce water, and you say, hi, I've gotten it, and you go do yours without asking for prescription, you will not get water. So I'm saying that it is possible that the model we are operating from is the right model, but without prescription. So are you following me? I'm saying that if it's without prescription, you are still wasting your time, because the end product will not be water. I'm saying that all our activities for the beginning of the year is to create a certain kind of man. However, we have done it without prescription, because it's not every year God will say you should do 50 days. Are you following me? Sometimes it can be 30 days. And sometimes it can be only night. Sometimes it can be daytime. You can say, no, I don't want it to be like this, because it is God that knows what to add together to get a certain kind of result. And you find that now, when it gets to April, the thing will change again. We enter one of our first festive period. And all we will teach about will be the risen Christ. Meanwhile, we were supposed to start teaching about the risen Christ from January, when we started our retreat. But what we were teaching in January was not the risen Christ. We were teaching people that the year is pregnant of goodness. My topic today is the Ecclesia, and that's why I'm talking like this. Because I'm trying to show you that the church did not just start as a building. The church has a story, which I'm going to show you as we go further. So, every time God takes his horoscope, he checks his binoculars and he views into Nigeria. He doesn't come to first find you. He first needs to find a church that is properly angulated to his will. And it's only when his church is angulated in his will that the church will begin to produce his kind of man. It's only in church that we are excited about a building. It's only in church. If you check the occult men, when you create an altar, your excitement is not the fact that an altar is created. Your excitement comes when the altar begins to deliver his work. So you will find out that they need to stay in hiding first. An altar is not pronounced with your mouth. An altar is pronounced with its effect. It means that for us to say we have a church here in Ikorodu, and I know that is good, we have a building, but I don't think we have a church. Because if we have a church, the territory needs to start feeling the impact of the church. What is the hot spot that is in this place that is spiraling Ikorodu? And I tell you the truth, your metric system to determine if we're a church or not is not true. Because if we're excellent or not, doesn't mean we're a church. If we wear good clothes or not, doesn't mean we're a church. If the music is good or not, doesn't mean we're a church. If you have AC or not, it doesn't mean you're a church. Anything you put, I know some people can go and say, Mom, I don't used to wear shoe in that church. Now, it doesn't mean that it's a church. Because your house is fine doesn't mean you have a family. Are you with me? So because the place is fine doesn't mean it's a church. What makes it a church is that at its zenith, the design of the church that Jesus had in its inception was that I will build my church and the gate of hell will not prevail against it. And that's how you see that song. It says, step by step, you lead me. We're not in a hurry. We're a people of promise. And if you find out the way promises happen is that they take their time to materialize. Sometimes the first thing God will need to do is to call you, Abraham, I need to go to a city. If you keep asking God, what's the name of the city, God will be silent. It means many times, the reason why you don't have direction is you're asking the wrong questions. You hear Abraham, I'm taking you to a city. If you waste your time saying, show me, what's the name of that city? What's the color of the city? God will keep telling you, I will take you to a city. I need to tell you, many times you find out that when you ask questions to God, the questions repeat themselves to you. It's because you're answering the wrong questions. I want to take you to a city. The next thing is what? Move. People claim that there's a way to be wise with God. I'm saying that in the hands of God, there's no way to be wise with Him. The only thing we have to do is to move. If He speaks, we move. Unfortunately, we came in a day like this, where the sacred and the profane can mix together. Unfortunately, High Priest Ben David arrived at such a time. At the time of our fathers, they had more protection. The world was not this hazardous. They could protect their faith. Everything, even their lifestyle, ensured that their faith was kept intact. But I arrived in a strange time, in a day where even in church, my faith might not be protected. You know, you can happen upon a church. And the reason why you got lost was because you came to church. The lady beside you will not let you rest. I was studying a Catholic writing. And they asked the Catholic priest to define what is nakedness. He now said, he defined nakedness. He now said, but nakedness has returned to modern day church. And they asked the priest, can you explain what it means to be naked? He now said, he wants to paint. He now drew a naked person and painted the nakedness red. He now asked, is this person naked? The church said yes. He now said, that's how many people are naked. That some ladies are naked, they just have colors. Should I explain what it means? There's a way you wear a kind of clothes and then you are naked in that clothes. The only thing is that the clothes has colors. You are not getting me. Let me give an example. This is a what? A white towel. Let me use it. Now, see this clothes. If you don't see the hair, do you know what is inside the hair? There's why I will tighten this cloth now. See? I can't even see the light. Are you with me? It means that even though this thing is clothed, it is still naked. The problem is only color. So the man was defining that nakedness has returned back, but the devil has clothed nakedness with color. You know what I'm saying? You can see a person walking now, you say this person is naked, but she's wearing a cloth. The only difference is the cloth is just a color. That's what the priest. If you go and study the Didache, you can go and download it. You can watch it. I recommend it. It's a very small manual. You begin to see what the apostles began to say we should do. Didache. Go and study it. You hear, my son, I want you to not do this. My son, I wonder why the Didache was not inside the Bible. You hear that if a man of God comes to your church and they spend more than 3 days, send him away as a thief. It's inside the Didache. They were trying to find a way to expose corruption in your soul. Well, the men that will rule have begun to be observed. It's you that is still playing church. Some men have begun to receive instruction for 2027 already. But you are still playing church. It means that God has, even though you are existing, God has removed you from the setting. That's why I don't want to be. That I'm existing. I'm a leader in church unit, but God has sworn never to use me. It's possible. That it's possible that God, so a person can be a pastor, and God will say, I have sworn never to use that pastor. It means the flock at a problem. You can be a church leader and God will swear never to use you. Your lips will never communicate his counsel. It means counsel from the lips of a man. It's not that you are saying the Bible. It's that you are preaching from the heart of God. We are in March 1st. I'm saying that God has chosen people He wants to use. Some people are just bench warmers. My job today is not to condemn you. My job is to remind you that when you started 2026, January 1st, you cried. And you said, God, I will serve you again 2026. I failed 2025, but I decided to return. But I'm saying that you have forgotten that your oath because you have gone back. It dawned on me this year. I was like, did I not say this a new year? How come my realities are the same? How come my consecrations didn't change? I wrote them down, but I could not follow them. It means my notepad became fancy. Why do you have a notepad? It's to remind you of the things to come. But your notepad, they are just there with you. They have no life. Can your notepad speak to you? Are you not afraid? Sometimes when I take my notes, I began to see the things the Lord spoke to me about. And I say, I repent. Your note is supposed to be preaching to you. Your note is God's voice to you. Maybe you don't take it sacred. Some of you have been measured into time already. It's now time that is revealing your identity. It is now time that is designing your life. I, Prince Ben, I swore not to be a creature of time. Time will not manage me. I will manage time. In Ecclesia, they said there is time for everything. I came to tell you that a group of people called the sons of Issachar, it was them, they rode upon time. As though they had a boat on time. And they could see that this one now is it. Oh, when we study, I've not started teaching, no. But when we enter our script, I will show you that God rose. There were two prophets that were called incident prophets. They were called Jeremiah and Ezekiel. And God began to use them as a template to define to a nation who He was. I'm saying that in case God has come here on earth to find a man to use, why will He pass me by? You know what I found out in Jeremiah? The Bible said, I'm going to use you. He said, you are my battle axe. You know what it means? It means that every time God is about to go on war, He carries you in His bag. We are going for war. He said, Chinedu, follow me. Kai. God has this. It from Genesis chapter 1, God stopped fighting. He said, I want to use man to fight. So when He began giving Adam the commandment, He gave them purpose. And He didn't tell them, but the purpose revealed that there was an enemy lurking around. And you need to be careful. The inception of Adam was the inception of a guardian. You are my what? Battle axe. He sent you as a missile. You look soft. Your face looks calm. But you are a warrior. It's a battle axe. They just clothed you in calmness to deceive the people. Not knowing that you are a poison. You know, cancer cannot be seen, but cancer is very effective. Cancer doesn't brag, but if he enters you, he begins to control you. He doesn't brag. That's who a believer is. He comes into a territory with just one bag, but he's a warrior. He's a danger. With just one simple bag. That was how Jesus began to send this. He said, I send you. And He told them so that you will not look big. Don't carry a purse. Just be going. So they enter a territory, there's no alarm system. In the natural that is ringing. But the angels began to clap. Our boy has entered. I began studying. What did you do to John the Baptist? John the Baptist, I don't know how John the Baptist received his discipleship when he was born. Even though his father was a priest, he knew that priesthood was condemned. And he said, I will not start my journey here from the temple. I'm going to the backside of the hills. Jesus has moved there. I want to go and find Him. So he kept on doing his thing. Do you know how John the Baptist was operating? He was baptizing every day. Every time he baptized, he looked. As Jesus come, he said no. He kept on baptizing. People were praising him. He said, your voice is echoing to the palaces. He said, my voice is not as important if Jesus has not come. He may have appeared in the palace, but it's not important until Jesus has come. So he kept on doing his normal baptism. Then one day, as he looked, he said, behold. You know what? This is what is paining me. When John saw Jesus, he said, I have seen Him before now. We were in heaven. The Bible said the same was in the beginning with God. There was a man sent from what? Whose name was John. his body might not recognize him, but his spirit knows him. You know that? How many of you have seen Jesus before? Have you seen Jesus before in your eyes? If he comes, all of us will know. Only genuine men will know. He will come incidental in your heart. He's a king. He knows you. He said, my sheep. You are a sheep, even though you have not seen the shepherd. But I know his voice. Do you know that there's not everybody you can lie to that God is not in a place? God is not here. What do you mean God is not here? He just spoke to me now. Oh, probably maybe you are not in the dimension I am currently. Everybody was normal. Then just John looked and said, behold. The word behold was everybody be arrested. A president has come. He didn't wear agbada, but he was a president. You know, when Jesus was coming to meet John, just like when he was entering the city, it was a triumphant entry. When he was meeting John, it was not a triumphant entry. He didn't need it. John recognized him. Behold! He now took... Give me that verse of scripture. He said, behold, the Lamb of God who takes away the sins of the world. They didn't understand what he meant. What John was talking about was the future of Jesus. Because he was not told here on earth. He heard it from heaven. That a man will come that will baptize with what? Fire. He said, though I baptize with water, one is coming that is greater than me. He will not baptize with water. He will baptize with fire. And I found out by credentials that I'm not fit to touch his lashes of shoes. When Jesus approached him, Jesus said, baptize me. He said, Kai. What do you mean? How should I, a mortal man, baptize you? Jesus said, so far it to be so. It's normal. You are my battle axe. I sent you here to pave the way. Human beings have no honor. It is Jesus who gives us honor. That's why I know that I am not honorable. Only God can install honor upon a man. That's why you can't fight for it. Honor is not something that is given to men here on earth. If you not manipulate it, it will come from heaven. It will rest upon you like a cloak. Peter that they were making jest of when the thing came. Jesus had to give them a precedence. He said, go and tarry in Jerusalem. The only way to get this thing, I was teaching people that time. When I was in Gethsemane, I was tarrying, you were not tarrying. But no problem. A time will come when you begin to tarry. So when the time came, he said, go and tarry in Jerusalem. Wait until you are endued with power. That endued means until you are full. Wait, they'll be giving you dose of it, don't run. He'll be giving you dose, don't run. And when the thing came upon them, everybody around them knew that they were a different man. What changed? Dimensions. The only thing that would make them different was that a sound came like a mighty rushing wind, and it could transform their heart. The heart that was made of stone was changed. And then Peter will now begin to say, this is the things we spoke about. Prophet Isaiah spoke about it. And everybody was looking at him. What's wrong with you? He said, go and check the time. We can't be drunk by this time. There's a new thing that has appeared in the landscape. It makes people drunk, but he makes people drunk, but they don't drink anything. You drink something to be drunk. We don't drink. We wait. We get drunk. He said, what do you mean? When he spoke, they didn't know that them too, they were baptized. So suddenly they said, men and brethren, what shall we do to be saved? That word was men and brethren. How can we be drunk like you are? How many people have noticed you are drunk? You are still normal. There's a way you would have taken dose of him. You become drunk. And then someone will look at you and say, sir, I'm confused now. Can you tell me how are you doing this thing? How are you doing this thing? Say, well, there's a way we do it. We need to put you into the kingdom. So come and learn of him. Wait for 6 hours. So at 4 hours, he has not come. Say, wait. Sometimes it comes at 5:59. When it comes 5:59, you'll be so surprised because you are already very weak. But he comes and gets you drunk. And then 9 hours, you are still standing. People will be wondering, what's wrong with him? How come he has been standing for long? That's why we try to replicate the things Babalola did. We cannot. He prayed until his feet was like a footprint upon the stones in Ede. I didn't know. It's not Ede. In Ecclesia, right? You know Elisha? His foot stayed like that. It was a footprint. You think you can do it like that? Those stones were hot. It means that everything, every pain this earth had to offer, he had removed himself from it. All he wanted to do was see him smile, and that was enough. He stayed there waiting for days. Stayed, went to the mountain, forgot himself. You came thinking about excellence. He came thinking about God and God alone. The reason why I'm doing this is because we have to pray. And when we pray, then I'll start my teaching. But hold on. We have not gotten there yet. We'll pray with that song, "Oh Lord, you are my God." That's what we'll pray about. But just hold on. One of the prophets we'll study today, his name is called Ezekiel. And I just want to give you a brief story about him. For 390 days, he kept on sleeping on one side of his body. He didn't sin, but God wanted him to feel the impact of the people. That's a priest. A priest should be taken from amongst men. So that when you are talking, you are not talking from empty voice or from empty words. You're a man that has felt the infirmity of the people. And you are talking from the vault of experience that you have experienced in the spirit. That's why you can hear a prophet talking and he's crying. He didn't sin. The weight of the territory is upon him. His voice has become a conduit pipe that the Holy Ghost has hinged to the throne of heaven, and they are piping through him. So every time they wanted to show the emotions of God, they will turn it. Suddenly, a prophet that was laughing begins to cry. And you must have been wondering, why is he crying? You don't understand. The audience that is before him is no more you. It's not the audience of one. The church is still the church, but he has lived. He still looks like he still looks like Taiwo, but he is no more Taiwo again. A reality in scripture has happened upon him. And it can be said that he is in this world, but he's not of the world. That means he has been raptured, even though rapture has not taken place. Brother and sister, I came to call you. Your life is still normal. There is something greater than this realm. I know that God has been so good to you this year. So much so that you have a car. So much so that you bought new clothes. So much so that you got a promotion. But I'm saying that even though all those things are good, they are still materials. They are materialistic. At the best of it, they are materialistic. I'm talking about a different call. A call that precedes time. I'm saying Jesus has been waiting since 2025. He got a hope because during 31st night, you promised him that you were going to look after him. You're going to look for him. He waited even 1st of January, and now this is 1st of March. And yet you have not still returned home, even though you are in church. He thought if you enter the 4 walls of the church, you will return home. But you found a way to clothe yourself with garments. And just like Adam, even though you were clothed, but you are still naked. The best of clothes still show nakedness. I don't care the kind of agbada you have. You can still be naked even in your agbada. The only sign that you are clothed is that Jesus has clothed you. Have you been clothed, sir? Or what you can see is just a fine native. I didn't come normal today. I came because the great one brought a burden and visited it upon the canvas of my heart. And what I'm telling you was what he told me first. He asked me, Prince, are you clothed or you are naked? So I was thinking maybe it was, sometimes it comes to play with me. So I said, so I told him, I'm bathing, that's why. When I wear my clothes. Then he told me, he said, no, nakedness has nothing to do with clothes. It has more to do with glory. When last did you shine? When last? When last did you make a year of the devil? Do you know what is paining me? Is that in 2026, devil vowed 2026 that how he dealt with you with addiction, he will deal with you with addiction in 2026. And you are still following him again. You should have to rebel against the devil. And say, I'm no more your product. It was in 2026 I knew that Jesus bought me with a price. And I'm not cheap, I'm expensive. Are you aware that human beings are expensive? We are very expensive. It took Jesus, God. It took God. No human being could buy you. They announced in the heavens who will go for us. Even the angels were not as expensive as you. The life of angels, total of them, could not buy one man. The only person that could buy one man was God. No one died in Genesis. He said, I created you in my image. Only me can buy you. How do you sell yourself for how much? 1 million. You sold yourself for a guy. Because his name is Daniel, you sold yourself for him. Meanwhile, you are very expensive. You are an expensive commodity. He paid. The only way he could have bought you. Oh, is your name Daniel? Okay, so your name is Daniel. The only way he could have paid for you was to pay for you with himself. And a time came when he was in Gethsemane, he said, is it possible that I can pay for them without going through this problem? And he knew that the answer was no. He said, no problem. Let your will be done. So, have you seen that scripture? He said, for he was wounded for our transgression. Give me that scripture. It was you he was talking about. Every time you sin, they whipped him. And the whip was not normal. The whip removed flesh from him. He wanted to shout, but he saw sufficient. He said, it's worth it. Bible said, for the glory he saw. It's why he didn't complain. He was looking at you that time as he was dying on the cross. How can they hang the most purest of all men amongst two thieves? But yet he was comfortable because at least he hoped that one day Luchi will look at the sacrifice and say, Jesus, I know you have tried for me, I will die for you. The first people that demonstrated it were the apostles. After they knew that Jesus died for them, they said, I will not be a good person if I don't die for you back. So a time came when they wanted to crucify Peter. Peter said, don't crucify me like my master. Turn me upside down. I'm not worthy to die like my master. I want to die differently. That was the kind of training they gave the apostles. Someone saw that if you beat them for their faith, they will come and they will begin to dance. What kind of assembly is that? It means that people come to this church and shoot one person, all of them begin to say, praise the Lord, O single. People began to rejoice that one man died. Because he didn't just, where he's going to is better than where we are. There's a kind of message that's not being preached anymore. It's the old rugged cross. That's the beginning of Christianity. That everything was working well until the cross came. The cross now show you that it was not working well. There's something bad. You thought you had access to God. There was a veil. There was a veil. And so people came to the temple, but they could not see Jesus. They brought sacrifice, but could not access him. And then Jesus came and said, when will you suffer like this? And so he came and tore the veil and expected you to walk there. Walk there. And Hebrews began telling us how he told you to walk there. In Hebrews. He said, beseech you therefore, brethren, by the mercies of God, that you present yourself a what? A living sacrifice. It means that we will not carry you as a dead body there. You will go there and die there. And in your dying, you still have ability to live. And so Paul said, even though I'm buffeted. One of my motivations is Paul. With the kind of qualification Paul had, he would have lived a better life. He chose to suffer for Christ. And I've chosen to be like that. That even the only thing that will be known, one of why I'm comforted is that even my wife saw it in her dreams. She saw that I was not great until they mentioned church. See, brother, I'm saying that I'm worth nothing. And I've decided I will never worth anything until it is only by the name of Christ. That's why when Adewa was giving that testimony, he was broke. That's the way. You'll be broke, but your convictions will not change. You know, the devil thinks that if you are broke, your conviction will change. What do you mean? What do you mean? I didn't come here for money. I didn't come here for the things mortal men can give to me. Every time I want to sleep, before I sleep, every time I kneel down, I want to see him see me and say, my boy, my boy, my boy. You reign forever. Your name is evergreen. You are the wisdom before time began. You reign forever. Your name is evergreen. Someone asked me a question. He said, since when last did you start spending for God? I said, it started 9 years ago, 8 years ago. I had no money. I was not bothered about having no money. But because I wanted to get a land for the church, I decided to work. It means only if I can only do hard work if it is to give to God. That was my mindset. I had it 8 to 9 years ago. I remember one day my wife asked me, it was last year, middle of last year. She said, what's your New Year resolution? What do you want to, what are we going to achieve financially this year? I said, I have no plans. She said, no. But as a financial expert, it's not. I knew what she was talking about, but I had no plans. You know why? I know better now. There are times I had plans. I work hard towards my plans. But it was not, the devil just need to be like, I know my plans faded like the wind. It's only God that can add to a man. Everything you do will only subtract from you. Have you found out that some people, they earn 50K and they live better than someone that's earning 400K? Because it's possible that you earn 400K and everything about sickness, everything about wickedness, everything about bad thing will happen to you. And you that earn 400K will only live with 20,000 naira. And then a person that is earning 50,000 naira, he will spend that 50,000 naira graciously. Okay, tell me, what's the point with having 400K? When you need to buy drugs of 250K, then your mom will get sick with 100,000, that's 350. Then, every time, that's when all the sockets in your house will blow. You need to change all of them. Every month, at the end, you have 20,000 naira. You are working like what? Elephant, eating like ant. So I decided to give myself to God. So what I told God is, if my finance goes to you, can you take care of me and my family? That's the kind of song old Asians sang. If I give God my lifetime, He will take care. You know, the word lifetime is not just your life. When people come out and say, I want to do testimony, they are not doing it well. They say, lifetime means even my activities. I spend my life. So that when people look at me and say, this one is wasting. And I am ready to live that kind of life. So that when you begin to remember your sufferings, the only thing that can come out to console you are your tears. The tears, have you seen hot tears before? They roll down your cheeks, and the only thing you can say is, thank you, Jesus. And that's the life of the apostles. That's how they live their life. They live their life for such a time. That's why I found that one of the closest mirror of the age of the apostle church, the apostolic church, is the church in the north. That's the closest. They went to church. I went to Kebbi State, and I knew what it was to live in the north. There is a political agenda there to keep them all together. You know this church now, we have one church here. Maybe we have another church in the other place. In that place, all the church were in one street. So in case you wanted to kill all of them, all you just need to do is to bomb one side. And all the church will die on Sunday. But mosques were scattered everywhere. Church were kept in one place. It was an agenda. And yet when you go to the church, you find that their praise and worship was quite different from ours. We only do praise and worship when there is instrument. They could sing praises with their hands, clapping. Oh, hello, yeah. Oh. Keyboard was not helping them. Baba, oh, they were jamming their hands, and joy came out from women. Women spread their wrappers, and all they were dancing about was the goodness of God. And the goodness was not calibrated by the ideas of men. The people were dying. Their children died last week, but they knew that it was an honor to die for God. If you be a genuine Christian, you need to study the Christians in the north. My spiritual father, he said he went to Makurdi. He said he went to, what's the place? Not Makurdi, what's the name? Meduguri. And he took the sand, kept it in his office. It was a reminder to say the purest of Christianity still exists. I will not live a fake life. My Christianity will not be based on material things. That's one of the things the prosperity gospel did to us. It stripped us of the goodness of God. Even though we were praying about the goodness of God, we didn't know it. Because the goodness of God has nothing to do with material things. And one of the things God, before I started my ministry well, I was doing ministry, but I didn't start it well. So he had to take me back to Kebbi State. When I entered Kebbi, I now knew what ministry was. And I knew that the church in Nigeria, largely in the west and the south, all they did was entertainment. And it's not bad. But meanwhile, I'm saying that even though God has permitted it, God will not allow it again. We need to return back to the basics. A place where people will trek miles so that the word of God can be preached. We don't even know what is evangelism. Evangelism is WhatsApp status. No. When last did you see people preach again in the buses? No, you don't want to be embarrassed. If you are preaching, say, another Christian will tell you, you are disturbing. I've seen Christians report churches. I don't like that church is in our neighborhood. I don't like it. Let the church end. A church? A Christian will submit an appeal that a church should be closed down. I've seen internet now. People will post a video and say this church is a nuisance to the society. A Christian. A Christian? Oh my God. What's happening to us? How can you tweet and say the church is a nuisance to the society? The church that is salt of the earth. If God wants to preserve a territory, he sends a church to that place. But a believer who doesn't know what is the design of the church, thinking that he was created to sleep at night. Well, a Christian says that I can't sleep at night. The church always they pray all night. Which kind of church where they pray all night? Why will you not use your time for productive things? People like China, they teach their children economic things. What we do is to shout and say amen. You are a disgrace to humanity. Jesus thought when he saved you that you will help him, but you are a disgrace. And I'm unapologetic about it. Do you know what it took Jesus to reconcile you back to him? He took his life. He waited for years. He waited for years. From Abraham, he kept on waiting. At the time will come when he will have space to permeate the earth. He was looking for a virgin. He took grace. He found one virgin. He had to even beg Joseph. I said, Joseph, please, 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 don't send Mary away. We are about to invade the earth. Don't send Mary away. Don't send Mary away. Then Joseph now heard. Do you know when Jesus came on the earth, even these guys wanted to steal him. They wanted to kill him. Then Jesus wanted to intercept a man's dream. And say, run. That's the labor it took for Jesus to bring a man here. I know what? People are saying that the church is causing nuisance to the society. I thought that what they were just doing in the church. So when we see that kind of statement, you begin to zoom in to see what is the church doing. The only sin the church committed was to pray for the territory in the night. Just to pray for the territory. The reason why darkness has not filled our nation is because of the prayers of the church. I found out. I saw something. I didn't notice it. I began asking God. I was traveling, and we were driving towards Ibadan Expressway. And I was seeing that churches were camping in different sides of the road of Ibadan Expressway. I was seeing it. And I asked God, what were you trying to do? Because there are other places to have had campground. How come you put campground along the way of Ibadan Expressway? He now said, I kept campgrounds there because there is hazard on that road. And the only way the road will be preserved is if pure territorial incense rises from this campground. So you see Deeper Life here. You see Redemption Camp. You see Mountain of Fire. You will see Foursquare. And every time they come to pray, because even though maybe I don't know their prayer point, but as far as incense is rising from that place, angels have legitimate reason to begin to traffic. Are you aware that if you want to take over a nation, you need to get to the expressway? If you stay there, you can send the spirit of death in that place. In Ikodu here, this first gate here, there was a certain place that was marked for death. We combated it when we were in school here. It doesn't kill people again. Every time the enemy was angry, he just killed 24. How many of you have been in Ikodu for long? Oh. You know what I'm talking about? That place looks like a normal place, but there's a river under it. It was demanding for blood every time. And you'll find that madmen used to go and stay there. It was the spirit that was helping them. You think that this place is normal. No. Ikodu is not normal. How can a civilized nation like Nigeria still have a place where they do oro? Don't you think it's abnormal? In the night, you can't walk anyhow like this, so they can take you away. An ingenious society like that have oro, where they take men. When I arrived at the hostel in this Ikorodu, I saw that a certain land could not grow herbs. There was no green plant on that land. We thought it was normal. If you go to check with science, if you take the soil to go and test it, they will tell you it's lacking something nutrient and minerals. That's what you would have been thinking, not knowing fully well that there were beasts that were feasting on that land. So we were praying one day, and God said, turn your eyes. And we looked, and we saw that I saw demons eating. What were they eating? They were eating the vegetation. It was why Abraham looked, and the Lord said, let's find a place now. God said, yeah, no problem. So Lot now chose where it was green. Bible said the fertility of the land changed, because spirits can eat fertility of land. So I saw demons eating that place. They were eating the fertility. What's happening? Why are they eating grass? When we pray, God now says, strike that demon. So we now prayed about it. And I asked people, when last did plants grow here? They say, the land doesn't grow here. We don't used to use the land. Wow. Demons now they don't eat people now, they eat land. So we now began to pray. And last time I still went there recently. I don't know why I went with someone here. And when I saw the place growing with green grass. It's you that think everything is normal. You can buy a land that is producing big yam, 2 bars of yam. You buy it, suddenly you cannot produce yam again. Spirits have gone to eat the fertility of the land. It means spirit can also eat your fertility. You can be a fertile person. You are very productive. But because you don't know how to pray, maybe you have abused the churches that are around you. You don't know how to pray. And a demon, if you go to all those ancient Yoruba church, you see someone praying, and say, Eshure. You are praying, but the demon is eating something in your head. But you are shaking your head. Oluwa, but you can't see. Your eyes are not open. The day your eyes are open, you will find out that you are in this world, but you don't know that this world is spiritual. Your name is the highest. Your name is the greatest. Your name and above all and dominion. Your fast forward it. We'll pray. Let me fast forward it. Uruduku divilare worovri la ruanke na bresilo. Redu verante kratembo non dreskelemo. You know what the Lord told me? He said in the ancient time, when his priest lifts up his hand, heaven reacts. And that's how he designed you to be. When the last time, because you don't understand priesthood language, when you lift up your hands, nothing shakes. We need to return back. We have lost substance. We have to teach my sermon for today. Ecclesia day 2. I just trying to enter, just whine you since. And I've whined you for like 30 minutes, if not more. We'll go to our sermon. The Ecclesia part 2. I wrote here, I said, what makes a family? What makes a family? Is it the house? Is it the name? Or is it the rules? And I answered myself, I said, no. All of this doesn't make a family. What makes a family is the story about the family. The moments they share together. The history they remember about themselves. That's what makes a family. Not just a family if you don't have a story behind it. Amen. You have a family? What makes your family a family? Good. Now, it looks like what makes your family a family is your names, the rules. Like when I want to marry, yeah, we in this family. Meanwhile, what makes a family is the story behind the family. So, same thing with the church. What makes a church is not the building. What makes the church is not the AC. What makes a church is the story behind the church. And I found out that one of the greatest things the devil wants to attack is our story. What's our story? Our story is that Jesus Christ died, that we might be saved, and we might be reconciled to him. That's our story. Anything that comes to threaten that story is coming to attack the foundation of the church. Are you with me? I wrote here, before Israel had a king, before Israel had a temple, before Israel had an organized institution, they had a story. And the story was that they were the people God rescued from slavery. They were the people God led through the wilderness. They were the people God made promises to. That story was what shaped them. And our story is what Jesus Christ died. Jesus Christ came. Jesus Christ died. Jesus Christ rose. And Jesus Christ saved us. That's our story. The only reason why we are gathered here is because Jesus Christ came. If he didn't come, we have no reason being gathered here. So if there's anything that is going to change that story, it means that thing is trying to fight the foundation of the church. Many times why I'm hot, many times why I preach, is because beyond what you are seeing, the devil wants to erase our story. And if he erases our story, he has erased us. Are you with me? Let me take it systematically. I don't want to be fast. Now, you read Deuteronomy chapter 28 today, and excuse me. Okay. Let me give you the story. One of the most devastating times for the people of Israel was the time of exile. In 586 BC, the Babylonian Empire, under the reign of King Nebuchadnezzar, conquered Jerusalem. And when they conquered Jerusalem, there were 4 things that Israel lost. Israel lost their land. Israel lost their king. Israel lost their temple. Israel lost their political independence. And so, Israel, the identity of Israel was tied to all these things. So, Israel's identity was tied to their king, to their land, to their temple, to their independence as a political people. In 586 BC, as King Nebuchadnezzar conquered them, right? One of the things that happened was that when the temple was destroyed, they were wondering because the temple that was destroyed was the temple King Solomon built, and that temple was very beautiful. That temple was very, very beautiful. You know what? You could see elegance, beauty in that temple. Then God allowed Babylon to destroy that temple. The people did not believe it. They were asking themselves, how can our temple, where Solomon and the priests told us that God used to live, how could they have destroyed the temple? It could not make sense to them. That's the first thing that happened. A second time came. King Nebuchadnezzar sent people. He sent people to go and capture all the people that were kings and princes. So they went into the land, captured the princes, took the king, killed some, took some to exile. There was a promise in the Bible or in their history that God said He's going to ensure that this species of people will rule Israel. Now, they were surprised how those people would have ruled Israel when Babylon has taken their kings away. So their temple was destroyed, their kings were taken away, and they now destroyed their land. So, one of the days, which we are going to read now in Psalm 135, the people then began to sing in Psalm 135. Give me Psalm 135 verse 1. All hope was lost. Everything they had, they depend. You know, some of you depend on many things. So if your mom dies, you depend on your dad. If your dad now, they say, nothing again. That's what happened to them. Everything they depended on died. There was nothing to depend on again. So see Psalm 35. He said, praise the Lord, praise the name of the Lord, praise Him, you who serve the Lord. Verse 2. You who serve in the house of the Lord, in the court of the house of our God. Sorry. Psalm 137, not Psalm 135. 137. He said, beside the rivers of Babylon, we sat and wept. See, they were in Babylon. They've moved them to Babylon now. All of them sat down beside the river of Babylon. And they were sitting, they were crying. Why were they crying? They were crying as they thought about their temple. Hey, this our fine temple was destroyed. They began crying. So imagine Mazi was in that circle. Imagine how Mazi would have been crying. Our temple. That's how they were crying. Verse 2. I just want to see him. I wish Mazi was so I can see Mazi's face. If they cry, imagine they shout, Timo! He said, we put away our harps, hanging them on the branches of poplar trees. Verse 3. For our captors, when they captured them, the people now say, oh, you people can sing. Oh. He now said, our captors demanded a song from us. Our tormentors insisted on a joyful hymn. He said, sing us one of those songs of Jerusalem. Meanwhile, when they sang in Jerusalem, they were happy. Then their tormentors now say, the way you should sing in Jerusalem. Before we capture you, saw you were very happy. Sing to us that kind of song. And every time they thought about their joyful moment, they wept. So they now hang their harps on the tree. Next verse. He now said, but how can we sing the songs of the Lord while in a pagan land? This was what God wanted to change in them. Just follow me. You will follow the gist. Next verse. He said, if I forget you, O Jerusalem, let my right hand forget how to play the harp. Verse 6. May my tongue stick to the roof of my mouth if I fail to remember you, if I don't make Jerusalem my greatest joy. Verse 7. Oh Lord, remember what the Edomites did on the day the armies of Babylon captured Jerusalem. Destroy it. They yelled, level it to the... So they were remembering how they were destroying it. The people were coming and say, Baje, go dive it in. So that thing was like a trauma. They remembered it, and as they were crying. And that's the song. Next verse. Oh Babylon, they started prophesying. You'll be destroyed. Happy is the one who pays you back for what you have done to us. Anybody that does wicked to Babylon, happy will you be. Next verse. Verse 10. Okay, that's the last verse. Okay. Let me show you something. Now, meanwhile, in this period, there were two men that rose incidentally. Their name, one was called Jeremiah, and one was called Ezekiel. Jeremiah rose because it was 3 waves. First one happened, second one happened, the third. So during that time, Jeremiah was one warning. He said, you are doing wickedness. You are singing the Lord's song even in the temple, but you are a wicked person. They didn't listen. If you don't hear me, people, they will invade us, so they didn't listen. So Jeremiah was even a weeping prophet. Sometimes he'll be talking, he'll be crying. Why are you people doing like this? Why are you acting? That's what Jeremiah was doing. He will be crying, talking to them. Why is the iniquity too much in this church? That's how you'll be crying, you'll be crying, you'll be crying. But they didn't hear. So suddenly, everything Jeremiah spoke about came to pass to Israel. Now they now got to Babylon, they now started crying like Jeremiah. But their cry was different. Their cry was nonsense cry. Jeremiah cried because God was crying. Now, there are 2 prophets. So, the first one was Jeremiah. Jeremiah was weeping, talking to them during the course of their rebellion. Now, another prophet now rose called Ezekiel. And Ezekiel was different. Ezekiel was a priest. He was trained for 29 to 30 years to be a priest. And in the day when he will graduate to become a priest, they captured him to Babylon. I'm saying that Ezekiel used to come to the temple. I mean, yes. So they'll tell Ezekiel, say, so when you want to enter the temple, this is how you'll be doing it. 1, 2, 1, 2. So he was learning. Sometimes his leg will pain him. 1, 2. He was learning. He learned everything for 29 years. Because in Bible, to be a priest practicing, you must be 30 years of age. So he was learning those things. When it was time for him to practice the things he had learned, they just took him to exile. Now, it doesn't make sense again. Because now, he cannot practice what he has learned. So imagine you are studying medicine all your life. Where's that my friend that said he was studying prostate? He mentioned one thing. Where is he? The keyboardist. I saw him. He has, okay. No, I was seeing it before. Okay. I was asking him, he said he studied one. He just mentioned one strange name. What's the thing? Prosthetics? Call it now. Prosthetics. He mentioned another one again. Prosthetic. Calm down. I just mentioned, he said, so what you should do is that if they amputate your leg, he will find a way to make you walk. I said, Now, imagine he studied that thing for 29 years. The day he was supposed to practice it, they now took him to Sudan, where he will not practice. That's what happened to Ezekiel. The day he will start practicing to be a priest, they transported him. So when he got to Babylon, where there was no more temple to practice, and the guy started wondering, what's wrong with my life? How can I waste 29 years of my life and there's nothing to show for? God now showed him a dream. Can we do that? We don't have time. Are you following me? You like story. So I just explain for you like Babylon, this. You don't know that those stories, that's what you read Deuteronomy 20. Can you give me the story there? But I'll tell you Deuteronomy 28 now, you will like it. You don't take your time to read the Bible. The Bible is sweet. Sit down and imagine her there. Let's do that Ezekiel book. Almighty God, our general. Ezekiel chapter 1. Good. Now, on July, look at it. On July 31st of my 30th year, while I was with the Judean exile beside the Keba River in Babylon. You have to put the date. It was important. July 1st, just to explain modern day. He had been studying how to be a priest for long. It was when it's time to practice, they move him to exile. So when he was writing, he said, remember, on my birthday, that's what it looks like. The day I was moved, the day I finished serving NYSC, now that day they say they go cancel NYSC, so I served 1 year for waste. Imagine he just finished NYSC, suffered. There's just me say, we have now scrapped NYSC. You need to write like Ezekiel. Say, open a Bible, a book for me. It must be written in the pages of the Bible. Beside the Keba River in Babylon, the heavens were opened. Now, when he was there, wondering what's wrong with my life? The Bible said, heaven opened. I saw visions of God. It was a surprising thing. How can you see vision in Babylon? You can only see vision in Jerusalem. Next verse. This happened during the 5th year of King Joachim's captivity. They captured the king. The Lord gave this message to Ezekiel, son of Buzi, a priest, beside the Keba. What are you saying? Beside a river, Babylonian river, you are giving a person message. Beside the Keba river in the land of the Babylonians, and he felt the hand of the Lord take hold of him. In his years of practice, he never knew that God could appear in a strange land. This was when the priesthood was redefined. Next verse. As I looked, I saw a great storm coming from the north, driving before it a huge cloud that flashed with lightning and shone with brilliant light. There was fire inside the cloud, and in the middle of the fire glowed something like gleaming amber. Next verse. From the center of the cloud came 4 living beings. They didn't teach him this one in the this thing, in the dictionary, in the manual. There's nothing like this kind of thing. So he saw 4 living beings that look like human. What's happening here? It's not part of my curriculum. Next verse. Except that each had 4 faces and 4 wings. Who did he see in the Bible? If you're a student of the Bible, who was he looking for? Who was he seeing? Who was he seeing? Oh my Jesus. May the Lord be with you. Again, I don't have time for that. Hey! Let me show you a verse of scripture. You are wonderful. You are worthy, oh Lord. I don't have time again. Hey! I say I want to show you people. You are wonderful. Okay, let's go on. Give me a verse of scripture. We'll read till like verse 15 or so. Quickly. My time is haunting me. Except that it had 4 faces and 4 wings. Verse 7. Their legs were straight, and their feet had hooves like those of a calf and shone like burnished bronze. Next verse. Under each of the see, you know that in oh my God, you know this thing was seen. They had a representation of them in the temple, but you had not seen it live before. But you could only see it live when they went to captivity. I will explain to you why. Under each of their 4 wings, who say sharp? You see, under each of their 4 wings, I could see human hands. So each of the 4 beings had 4 faces and 4 wings. Next verse. The wings of each living being touched the wings of the beings beside it. Each one moves straight forward in any direction without turning around. So they could move anywhere and they are not turning. Next verse. Each had a human face in the front, the face of a lion on the right side, the face of an ox on the left side, the face of an eagle at the back. Next verse, the face of a man. Each had 2 pairs of outstretched wings. One pair stretched out to touch the wings of the living beings on either side of it, and the other pair covered its body. Next verse. They went in whatever direction the Spirit chose. So listen, they went whatever the Spirit chose. How was he saying this thing? How was he getting the interpretation? They were talking to him as they were showing him. And they moved straight forward in any direction without turning around. Do you just change it? Look at what we've read it before. The living beings looked like bright coals of fire or brilliant torches, and lightning seemed to flash back and forth among them. Next verse. And the living beings darted to and fro like flashes of lightning. Next verse. As I looked at these beings, I saw 4 wheels touching the ground beside them, one wheel belonging to each. Next verse. The wheels sparkled as if made of beryl. All 4 wheels looked alike and were made the same. Each wheel had a second wheel turning crosswise within it. Next verse. The beings could move in any of the 4 directions they faced without turning as they moved. Next verse. Look, we've read all this. The rims of the 4 wheels were tall and frightening. They were covered with eyes all around. The wheels had eyes all around. Next verse. When the living beings moved, the wheels moved with them. When they flew upward, the wheels went up too. Next verse. The spirit of the living being was in the wheels. So wherever the spirit went, the wheels and living beings also went. Gone. When the beings moved, the wheels moved. When the beings stopped, the wheels stopped. When the beings flew upward, the wheels rose up. For the spirit of living beings was inside the wheels. Next verse. Spread out above them was a surface like the sky, glittering like crystal. Next verse. I want us to read this thing so that you understand. Beneath the surface, the wings of each living being stretched out to touch the other wing, and each had 2 wings covering his body. Verse 24. As they flew, their wings sounded to me like waves crashing against the shore, or like the voice of the Almighty, or like the shouting. So they don't even know. It sounds like this. It sounds like this. When they stopped, they let down their wings. Verse 25. As they stood with wings lowered, a voice spoke from beyond the crystal surface above them. Above this surface was something that looked like a throne made of blue lapis lazuli. And on this throne, high above, was a figure whose appearance resembled a man. Next verse. From what appeared to be his waist up, he looked like gleaming amber, flickering like a fire. And from his waist down, he looked like a burning flame, shining with splendor. This was a crash course for Ezekiel. He had trained for 29 years, but he had not known this kind of training. So they want to give him a crash course. Next verse. Go on. Go to chapter 2. Stand up. Now, it was here they found that his real shape. He was the Son of Man. And 29 years of training did not reveal to him who he was. Only an encounter. That's why you don't know yourself. You only know yourself in an encounter when you are raptured. If you call yourself promise, you are not promised in the spirit. You are a son of man. We get our boldness from what they call us in our encounters. That's why you stop coming to church because someone say you are not important in church. No. When you get an encounter, you will know who you are. Some of you are the pillars of a church. That the church is standing because of your intercession. And sometimes even the pastor may not recognize you. But when we go to where it matters, your real name will come out. They don't hide names there. That's why when you begin to glory in the realms of men, you have not known him from the beginning. More so that what people said, we are not what the life of a man does not consist of the abundance of what he has. There is something you are made of. This guy was in exile, but when the spirit met him, he said, Son of Man. Have you cried before? As you were crying, you thought all hope was lost. Then he comes. Just like Gideon, he said, thou mighty man of valor. So Gideon say, Kai, you have low self-esteem because you have not been encountered. When you find an encounter, your low self-esteem will die. Sometimes, imagine when God tells you and say, shh, the reason why your dad is alive is because of your prayers by 9 p.m. If your dad come and say, that your stupid prayer in the night, you just be laughing. You get what I'm saying? You say, now every time they go church, you could pray for 9, stupid prayer in the night. Every time you could pray by 9 p.m., they disturb my peace. You don't even say, now why I know they sleep now because of you. Then look at him and say, Daddy. Because a priest doesn't talk much. You know what I say? Hey, now me, they make you their life, or you have lost it. You keep quiet. In fact, they can even say, if you pray tomorrow night, you will not go chop, and you will choose not to eat so that you can live. Many of us, our rewards are not on earth. It's when your dad goes to heaven, you find out the reason why you are a power bank. You bought your life was a power bank and a cord. The reason why your daddy battery have not died because he was plugged to you. Son of man. So why do you stop praying at night? Why do you stop your consecration? Don't you know that you are powering a city? It was said that a territory that was alive, a certain man died and darkness plunged into the city. He didn't contribute road lights, but he was a light. No light. He didn't come and say, Ambassador Honorable. No. The reason why the city had promotion was because of him. He sat in his chair. His chair, it was made of woods. But if you check the chair in the spirit, it was a throne. You know that people that make people king, they are not really beautiful. You may not know them, but they could command deliverance unto Jacob. That such was the life of Ezekiel. Give me a verse of scripture. Stand up. So this guy, the word stand up here, it was looking like, see. Sometimes God will not speak to you until you stand up. You see, KJV said, and he said unto me, Son of man, stand up on your feet. I want to speak to you. There are certain postures, if you don't take, he won't speak to you. I came to call you tonight, young ancient. I'm saying that God will not speak to you if you are still in the valley. Stand up. You can't be in the valley. We are talking about territorial work. You are sitting down. You are there weeping. Say, when? You are licking your wounds. Bro, it's not time. Leave your wounds. Stand up. I want to speak to you. Next verse. And the Spirit entered into me when he speak to me. There's some impartation that comes by words. Jesus. It's not every time they must lay hands. They can talk to you. And suddenly, the Spirit will enter into you. Bible said, he entered into me and set me upon my feet. I found out that when the Spirit said stand up, the guy did not have capacity to stand. And maybe he heard the word stand up, he stood up. So the time when you hear in Isle of Patmos, when the word they told, what's his name? John, he said, what? Come up here. He didn't have the ability to come up. But because the great one said come up, he could come up. May you hear the word to tell you come up. Set me upon my feet, that I heard him that spake unto me. It's possible that you are not hearing him. God. Give me the next verse. Son of man, he said, I am sending you to the nation of Israel. He was in exile, sir. I'm sending you to the nation of Israel, a rebellious nation that has rebelled against me. They and their ancestors have been rebelling against me unto this very day. I'll show you why they call him son of man very soon. Next verse. They are a stubborn and hard-headed people. This guy is an Israelite. But when you are talking to a son of man, you isolate him. So a priest is taken from amongst men first. Are you with me? So, but I'm sending you to say to them, this is what the sovereign Lord says. Next verse. And whether they listen or refuse to listen, for remember they are rebels, and at least they will know they have a prophet among them. Next verse. So this was here he got his ordination as a prophet, not the training. Prophets are not made in the open, they are made in the secret. That's why you cannot undermine my calling. I know what he told me. Your words have little importance. Are you with me? You can only define my calling if you have ascended high. But I'm saying that don't allow anybody to tell you are not called. Your calling does not come from men, it comes from God. And if you are saying deeper, you find that he will tell you, say, Son of man, I have sent you to be a prophet from among them. Son of man, do not fear them or their words. Because he knew that if you are sent to a people, you will likely be afraid. And he was trying to give them away. He said, don't fear them or their words. Don't be afraid even when their threats surround you like nettles and bears, stinging scorpions. It's possible that you are sent to a territory and they are threatening you. And God is saying, don't be afraid. Even though their threat is like it's like scorpions. Do not be dismayed by their dark scrolls, even though they are rebels. Verse 7. You must give them my message, whether they listen or not. But they won't listen, for they are completely rebellious. Next verse. Son of man, listen to what I say to you. Do not join them in their rebellion. It's possible that you can be sent and you will join them. It was a warning. Do not join them. There's a way. Oh my God. It's a parable in Nigeria. Many were sent to Nigeria to liberate Nigeria. But when we saw 2026 landscape, we saw many people have joined them. So our prayers will be different. It's not just send men. You will say, send men that will not join them. We are not talking about Lord makes Christians pastors anymore. Do you understand the gist? It's possible that a Christian is a pastor, but he has joined them. People were excited. I don't want to talk much. They said they may arrest him very soon. So I made a video and I put it on Twitter. People say, man of God, I fear for you. So I'm calm. If you study for 8 to 10 years now, you find out that because a Christian is in power doesn't mean things will change. You should know what I'm saying. You can be the Lord give understanding. Son of man, listen to what I say to you. Do not join them. Do not join them. It's called my wife, so I have to live long. Okay, so I should die, so should marry her. No, it's not possible. It's not possible. Okay, that's your plan. No, it's not possible. I'm living too long. Son of man, listen to what I say to you. Do not join them in their rebellion. Open your mouth and eat what I give you. Just wait to. We don't have time. It's paining me. I want to explain Ezekiel to you. You'll be so surprised. Give me the next verse. Then I looked and I saw a hand reaching out to me. He said, give me verse 8. Listen to verse 8. Read again. Son of man, listen to what I say to you. Do not join them in their what? Rebellion. Shabi? He now said, open your mouth and eat what I give you. It looks to me that he was giving him a cure on how not to join them in their rebellion. So give me the next verse. Then I looked and I saw a hand reaching out to me. It held a scroll. Verse 10. Which he unrolled, and I saw that both sides were covered with funeral songs, words of sorrow, and pronouncement of doom. Next verse. The voice said to me, Son of man, eat what I'm giving you. Eat this scroll. Then go and give his message to the people of Israel. What is the scroll? A scroll. Go back to, let's see the scroll. Oh, Jesus. He said, no, this is not the scroll. Verse, that was the last verse. I looked and I saw a hand reaching out to me. He held a scroll. Next verse. Which he unrolled. And I saw the scroll itself. We have not seen the scroll. When they unrolled it, both sides of the scroll were covered with funeral song, words of sorrow and pronouncement of doom. We have not talked about what is inside the scroll, but the sides of it were funeral songs. You are not saying I should eat it. You know what it means? If the side of the scroll is that sorrow, what will be in the content? Give me the next verse. Next chapter. The voice said to me, son of man, eat what I'm giving you. Eat this scroll. Then go and give this message to the people of Israel. Next verse. So I opened my mouth and he fed me the scroll. I'll tell you the implication of this thing. Oh my God. Next verse. Fill your stomach with it, he said. And when I ate it, it tasted as sweet as... Listen, this was a scroll that looks... It was a funeral scroll. When he ate it, it tasted as sweet as honey in my mouth. Next verse. Then he said, son of man, go to the people of Israel and give them my message. Next verse. I'll show you something. Just follow me. I'm not sending you to a foreign people whose language you cannot understand. That's how. So God doesn't send you to a people that you cannot understand their language. It's why God can send a doctor to a doctor, or to a doctor to doctors, an influencer to influencers. Are you with me? So, no, I'm not sending it to people with strange and difficult speech. If I did, they would what? Next verse. Oh, I wish I explained that, but don't worry. But the people of Israel won't listen to you anymore than they listen to me. For the whole lot of them are hard-hearted and stubborn. Next verse. If you tell you how many times you tell that they were stubborn, you will be so surprised. But look, I have made you as obstinate. Now, let's use ESV. Behold, I have made your face as hard as their faces. Your forehead as hard as their forehead. Next verse. I have made your forehead as hard as... Let's be using ESV for now. Like even harder than flint, I have made your forehead. Fear them not. Not be dismayed at their looks. For their rebellion. So they have hard face. I have made your face hard. Next verse. Then he added, son of man, let all my words sink deep into your own heart first. Someone say first. Listen to them carefully for your... That's why we have incidental priests. They got the words, but they didn't listen for themselves first. But they went on preaching. And when you preach a word that you have not listened first to, you'll be an accident of that word. That's why you can preach that don't sleep with your neighbor, but you are sleeping with somebody. You have the message, but you go, have not ate it. You've not digested the message. Listen, there's a lot to learn in priesthood. You will learn that priesthood is not gara-gara. Everybody has the same lingo now currently on Instagram. We all hold the mic and then it looks out. I have learned my lesson. And I pray you learn yours too. Amen. Oh, you don't want to learn your lesson? No, wahala. It doesn't matter if you will learn. God will force you to learn. Then you will find out that priesthood is not about speed. It's about encounter. If you have not encountered, you wait. If you have not ate the word, wait. If you've not learned it for yourself first, wait. See my verse. Next verse. Then go to your people in exile and say to them, read, all of us, read loud. I want to be hearing you. Read, I can't hear you. Go on. Okay. Give me Ezekiel chapter 4. Let's jump. Now, son of man, this all the encounter. This guy was in where? Where was the location? River of where? He was in Babylon. The where? River of where? Cheba. Abi? Not Keba, but Keba. Now, son of man, take a large clay brick and set it down in front of you. Listen. Then draw a map of the city of Jerusalem on it. Show the city under siege, build a wall around it so no one can escape. Set up the enemy camp and surround the city with siege rams and battering rams. Next verse. Then take an iron griddle and place it between you and the city. Turn toward the city and demonstrate how harsh the siege will be against Jerusalem. This will be a warning to the people of Israel. Next verse. Now, he said, lie on your left side and place the sin of Israel on yourself. He said, you are to bear their sins for the number of days you lie there on your side. Next verse. I'm requiring you to bear Israel's sins for 390 days. 1 day for each year of their sin. So what God told Ezekiel to do was, you will lie down on one side. You see, if you are pregnant, you understand what this thing means. Go and check online. People complain of lying one side. He said you should lie down. How many days is 1 year? 360 what? So you are not going to do that thing for 390 days, 1 year and some days. A month? Like that. You'll be sleeping like this. You know, for a woman, you can change. You can sleep like you can. For Ezekiel, it's like this, one side. The reason why is that I want you to bear Israel's sin. It was why they introduced him as the Son of Man. It was not a title, it was a job. I'm telling you that some of you will need to suffer the sins of your parents so that you can deliver them. You will need to suffer that poverty for some time. When you feel it. It's so that when you know that God was introducing to Ezekiel that the people is going to go and talk to our stiff-hearted people, hard people. So it's possible to just look and say, you were a mad person. That's why I'm talking to you, you're not listening to me. If you bear the iniquity, you will talk calmly. I know that it is not hard. It's very difficult to do. But please. You know, a person that has suffered loss and God deliver him, when you come and tell a person, serve, you don't say, what? Yeah, you did what? You had lost? God, that's absurd. It's not real. Well, it's true. You had lost? How did it come upon you? What the Bible says that you're going to quote. Then you not even understand what is happening again. But a person that was suffering loss for 30 years, then God now deliver him. You say, sir, I have lost. Please stand up. Come, sit down. Have a seat. I know. I know how he's doing you more. Daddy, how do you know? I know. Daddy, okay. Well, you think I don't know. Shebi, you told yourself one night that I will not do it again. You did the next day. Daddy, how do you know? I know. Let me tell you how it works. You say, Daddy, you are so knowledgeable. That's what they did for him. He said, don't worry. You are not a sinner. You have been trained all your life to be a priest. So come and bear the sin of Israel. You see that when he went to, after all this training, so there is training for how to be a priest. There is training to be a son of man. And I'm saying that they've trained you differently. What I'm going to train you today, 21 days teaching actually is to be, you will understand how to fill in for a people. And part of the visions he saw was that God had left the temple. And he saw that God was mobile. Oh, Jesus. I can't finish my teaching. So, I told you that the identity of Israel was tied to how many things? 4. That they had a temple, they had a king, they had a what? Land, and they had political what? Independence, right? Now, in exile, they changed the narration. So, they could not see. So, you know that Israel used to serve God by worshiping, like, by killing animals. There was no more temple to kill animals again with. And so, they had to develop a new way to worship God. So, that didn't involve killing animals. Where did they want to get animals from? So, they could not kill animals to worship God anymore. They now focus on the Torah. So, they now started gathering in groups. So, 10 people will gather together and they begin to read the Bible. oh, this is what the Lord told us. That's how they started worship. By force. A time came that after they left, I don't talk about Ezekiel's story anymore because I have to close. I have 12 minutes left. So a time came, if I teach Ezekiel. So a time came after that, the man called King Cyrus came and conquered Babylon, and then now told the children of Israel to go back to their hometown. They now went to the hometown and they rebuilt the temple. People were happy because they've lost their temple. So when they built that temple, they now returned back to old way of worshiping with blood of animals. But they added something to it. So they were worshiping with the blood of animals, but they now read scripture and they now had a community. So the first time the word synagogue would be introduced in scripture was after exile. So the synagogue evolved during the exile time. So even though God was teaching them how to know him, we disciplined them how to know him, God was also teaching them how to worship him. So the worship pattern changed. It was no more about animals anymore. It was about scripture and community. So now they learned how now to read scripture and how to have fellowship in groups. But after 70 AD, the last time when Romans came and they destroyed the second temple, they stopped using temple anymore. They now knew that worship is not in a place anymore. Worship is in the heart of men. And so the turnover for that kind of thing for us, that's why we Christians, I'm teaching about Ecclesia, the church. I was telling you that I'm going from the Old Testament, so now I arrive into the New Testament. And the arrival is that synagogue didn't start from New Testament, it started from Old Testament. What you see in Acts chapter 2, or in Acts, where you see scripture tells us that the people were going from house to house, breaking bread, worshiping, and then teaching themselves. Started from the Old Testament, after the exile of Israel. That's when the first word synagogue introduced. Now, synagogue is the coming together of believers when they share their faith. That's the inception of the church. It started from the Old Testament. However, Jesus had to make it more formal. Then he now started watching, checking. He said, upon this rock will I build my church, and the gate of hell will not prevail against it. Are you aware that building of the church Jesus was talking about, the foundation was Christ? And Jesus Christ came and said, him is the completion of the law and the prophet. Are you following me? You don't like this kind of psalm. I want to take you systematically how the church started. And that is why Jesus Christ will now begin to walk and see the woman and say, give me water to drink. The woman said, we have no business together. You are a Jew, I'm a Samaritan. Jesus said, if you know this is the gift of God, you will not ask for water, you will not give me. Because if I give you water, you will not thirst again. And Jesus now revealed something different. He now said that the members of a church are not supposed to be called members. The members of the church are supposed to be called worshippers. And the scripture will say something like, the Father seeketh such to worship him. And who should worship him? Those who will worship him in spirit and in truth. For the Father seeketh what? Such to worship. It means that the Father took a different kind of position. And he started that position from the Old Testament. And that position was that Jesus became, or the Christ became a seeker. And he began to hunt for men that were worshippers. If your desire is to serve him in spirit and in truth, he will possess your vessel. And that's why in Romans chapter 10 verse 9, you hear scripture say, if thou shalt confess with thy mouth the Lord Jesus. So the introduction of a man into the church is confession. An ability to recognize the truth, that indeed I'm a sinner, and I'm ready to what? Die for, I'm ready to what? Live for you. So the church starts with truth. If you lie, you cannot. If you start with lie, you can't enter the church. The first thing you need to accept before entering the church is to know that I'm a liar. I'm a fornicator. I'm a sinner. If you recognize you're a sinner, it means you have spoken about truth. And then you cannot be synchronized with God's people. 8 minutes left. I can't go further again. So I'm saying that everything Jesus Christ came to do on earth was to restore us back to a family. The first definition of a church operated in Adam, in Garden of Eden. That was the first time church was supposed to be operating. In fact, if Adam had not rebelled, there would not be anything like church, because the design was supposed to be, church supposed to be first family unit. So if the family unit was not broken, we would not need to have church like this. So the church is another replacement of family. That's why anytime the church is not operating as a family, God is angry, because the design of the church is supposed to be like a family. It's why we are teaching many things in 21 days, so that we arrive at the church. When I remove bitterness, when I remove anger, when I remove jealousy, you find out that the church will be a better place. And actually, the bond that is between the church is not blood that is holding us. There is something that speaks better things than the blood of Abel. I don't want to check my notes. Because I'm not done, but at least we can stop here for tonight. Oh my God. Just as I looked up, I saw that he wanted to accept some men. These men they started their journey well, but along the line they had to deviate. Now I'm not telling you to come up. No. I'm saying as you are seated up, you're going to sing it to see you high and lifted up, shining in the light of your glory. Pour out your power and love. We sing holy, holy, holy. To see you high and lifted, shining, shining in the light of your. Pour out your power and love. We sing only to see you high and lifted up, shining, shining in the light of your glory. Pour out, yeah, we sing only. Come on, sing that song. To see you. Oh, man, below and goes and you. Wababa, there's a belong,